For as long as I can remember, I've been fascinated with success. In my family, it was just assumed that everyone was going to be successful. It was inevitable. And my brothers are both physicians. I disappointed the family. I failed because I went to law school instead of medical school. But throughout my career, as a trial lawyer, as a businessman, and as a mentor, I have always been looking for the factor that keeps people from being successful. What keeps people that have everything they need to succeed? What keeps them from getting started in the first place? Or if they get started, stopping short of the goal line, or if they cross the goal line, kick it all away by some form of self sabotage? And also, what is it that keeps people who have success from attaining satisfaction, from having their internal experience of life match their external trappings of success? And why is there this disconnect? And I found that factor. And what it is that stands between us and success and satisfaction is quite simply, we don't like ourselves. Now, this may sound really simplistic, but bear with me. Because when I say we don't like ourselves, I don't mean we don't like this or that, this quality. It's just there's a fundamental dissatisfaction, a disqualification that we have about who we are as we are. And because of that, we don't feel we deserve success. We don't feel it's even worth pursuing success. So if we have success, we feel like an imposter, like, my God, if people really knew this about me, there's no way in the world that, they would respect me, or I deserve to have the success that I actually have achieved. So there's lots of ways that this not liking ourselves shows up in the world, shows up in our life. It can be that we have this idea that until we're a better version of ourselves, we really can't obtain success, or we shouldn't really deserve the success that might come our way. We might find that we're not comfortable in our own skin, that we not only don't like being ourselves, we don't like being with ourselves, and we just can't stand being alone. Or it might be that we just self-sabotage and tear the success up as fast as we lay it down. It doesn't matter how it manifests. What matters is that we recognize that we're being idiots because we are denying ourselves the same respect, the same patience, the same understanding, the same appreciation that we give to everybody else in the world. But we feel we should be disqualified. We shouldn't have that. We shouldn't give ourselves the same understanding, the same empathy, and the same gratitude and appreciation that we give to the rest of the world. And no matter how this not liking ourselves or perhaps even loathing ourselves shows up in your life, and what rationalizations you might have that it makes you a better person, it keeps you moving or whatever, I can tell you, you may suffer your way to a certain level of achievement, but you will not manifest the kind of abundant, peaceful, harmonious, truly satisfying success and satisfaction that got us all into business in the first place. So how do we stop the madness? How do we stop being our own worst enemy because we're making an enemy out of ourselves? We don't like ourselves. Well, there's a couple of strategies that I've seen people use over and over again, and neither one of them really work that well. The first is what I call the external strategy. We're going to just succeed our way past our suffering and achieve such materialistic success and renown that everybody loves us and we love ourselves. And we can, if that voice comes up and says you're no good, we can say, oh, yes, I am, because look what I have. And I'll tell you, that doesn't work. You can run the experiment if you want. It's a waste of time. Save yourself the time, save yourself the headaches. The second is the internal approach. And I applied this to myself for decades. I was hoping I could transcend this part of myself, that I could kind of spiritually bypass not liking myself and become someone so loving and so lovable that, all this stuff would disappear. And I mean, there's a lot that came out of that. But the fact is, it doesn't work because you're lost in your head. And as soon as you leave the meditation cushion or the retreat center, you're back in the world. You don't like yourself again. I'll tell you what does work. Works for me, works for my clients, might work for you. And that is, we make a choice. We choose to no longer try and live as someone that we're not. We decide we're not going to procrastinate living our lives until we're some idealized version of ourselves. But we're going to engage fully in life now as ourselves and out into the world. There's many ways to do that. For me, people that I work with, that means bringing the fullness of ourselves, discovering the fullness of ourselves, and bringing that fullness of ourselves out into the marketplace in a way that makes financial sense and it is the best representation of what you most hold dear. And this means when I say the fullness of yourself, I mean, one, the part of yourself that has the guts to care. It's not cynical. It doesn't say nothing matters. And the part of yourself that has the insight to know what you care most about and can feel what it is. Wow, this is what my life has prepared me for. This is how my unique journey, which seemed like it was just, a mess of circumstances that I was a victim of. No, it's actually prepared me to bring my unique gift out into the world and bring it out into the marketplace in a way that, yes, creates abundance, maybe creates renown for you, but more than anything, changes things and lets you know that you are doing exactly what you were put on earth to do. And that's my talent. My talent is to feel what it is you're called to do, have a sense of what the marketplace needs from you, how you can monetize that calling, and then to bring all the resources together that makes that happen. And when you do that, in terms of that voice of self-doubt, yes, you'll become someone more lovable. You'll become someone more capable of loving yourself. But more than anything, you're too busy. You're too happy. You're too fulfilled. You're too comfortable in your own skin to waste your time worrying about whether you're a good person or not. Who you are just becomes manifest, and you become too engaged to any more than you worry about the stuff you worried about when you were 5 or 6 years old. You evolve past it. If this sounds like you, if this is something that you want to do, if there's a resonance here, reach out. We'll talk, we'll communicate. And if it's right, we are going to change your life and we are going to change the world.